This seems to be, as expected, I suppose, in the last 24 hours at least, the pressure building and building on Germany to come to this conclusion.
Well, that's right. We've seen pressure for weeks on Germany from Poland, from other countries in Europe, because they can't send the Leopard tanks that they have in their stores until Germany gives them the right to do so under re-export laws. So they're sitting there. They wanted to go. They had to get the go-ahead from Germany, and they were saying that time is running short to be able to get these tanks to Ukraine, to get Ukrainians trained on how to use them also, because they are very different kinds of tanks if they're going to make any measure of difference in the coming months. And it's possible either way, the timeline for this still will be weeks, if not months.
So, Ros, to that point, as you say, this took a long time. It was difficult to accomplish. What is the broader signal here about that difficulty and what it says of the resolve and unitedness of the allies and whether that's fraying?
Well, certainly you've seen a huge amount of unity and support for Ukraine from Europe, from the US and elsewhere, and really a lot of aid that's gone in over the past 11 months, be it financial aid or military aid. What you see is sort of a staggered level of caution, and not just Germany, but other countries too, about if you send really offensive, heavy weapons into Ukraine, does that put NATO in the firing line directly with Russia? Is that seen as a direct challenge to Russia, and does that pull those countries into a conflict that, you know, is contained inside Ukraine? And that's been Germany's concern, and other countries also. But equally, you've seen other countries in Europe saying Germany has just been far too cautious, especially in the past few weeks.
Yeah, and any response from the Kremlin, of course, will be closely watched here. I suppose, talking of unity then, Germany has always made the, well, some voices in Germany at least have made the argument that they didn't want to do this alone, and maybe they like the cover of other NATO members, for example, the US, sending their own tanks. We'll wait to see if we get confirmation on that, because at the moment that's just our sources suggesting that'll happen.
Well, that's right. It's interesting, though, that we are hearing that the US will commit to sending Abrams tanks. Those are the very heavy US battle tanks. That could take even longer, by the way, to get there. But the suggestion is that Germany was making very clear to the US, if we're going to send ours, you need to send yours, because the US was resisting sending these very big, heavy battle tanks from there. And so perhaps there's been that conversation behind the scenes, which is we really have to do this together. And if we're going to make this commitment, so do you. So you can imagine that's what's really happened in the past few weeks, is that negotiation. So we are expecting a potential announcement on Abrams, as you said, later today from the US.